Good morning, students. Am I audible? Any disturbance from my side?
No, sir.
Okay. Very less number of students, only 40. Okay. Okay, 1 minute, students, we'll start. Okay. So I hope everyone has some clarity about this exception handling. Today, what will be in this session, what we'll be going to discuss is that we'll be discussing mainly about exception handling. Sorry, multi-threading. Mainly, we are going to discuss about multi-threading. So what do you mean by multi-threading that we discuss, and then we'll be discussing about the basics in multi-threading. What do you mean by thread-based multi-threading, and what do you mean by or difference between thread-based multitasking and then process-based multitasking. And before entering into this, what concept, first of all, we'll be discussing about what do you mean by task and what do you mean by single tasking and what do you mean by multitasking, and then we'll be discussing about the difference between process-based multitasking and thread-based multitasking that we'll be discussing. And the students who are well known about operating system subject, those are studying now what in your current semester already you come across some process-based algorithms, right? CPU scheduling algorithms
Yes,
completed. First come, first serve
Yes,
round robin algorithm, right? So what is
Yes,
the
sir.
information that you have with respect to round robin algorithm? Can anyone say the basic idea or the basic strategy of round robin algorithm?
Time sharing process ఉంటుంది, sir.
Time sharing process. Then can anyone elaborate it? Exactly what's going to be happened over there?
Processes will be executed in uniform time quantum.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other way? Any other way? Okay.
ఒక ప్రాసెస్ కి ఎంత బస్ టైం ఉన్నా సార్ పర్టికులర్ టైం క్వాంటమ్ లో ఉన్న వరకే కేటాయిస్తారు సార్ ప్రాసెస్ కి.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Any other students? ఇంకెవరైనా? Okay. Fine. So we'll be discussing that first. So what do you mean by process based? What do you mean by multitasking? Process based multitasking that we'll be discussing, and then we'll be seeing about the creating the threads in Java, how to create a threads in Java, and then we'll be going with other topics. Try to understand here. I will be going into one by one topic. I will be discussing with you clearly and try to understand these things. Okay. Very important, students. Multi-threading, exception handling, very important. Why I'm stressing this many times means you can understand it. Okay, fine. So what do you mean by multi-threading? Already in the last class I given one example in such a way that if you consider one pro gaming example, and we'll be moving an object, that is one task, and depending upon the movement of object, you'll be getting the path of next thing, how this has to be moved, then you'll be getting the path. And the next thing is based on this path and based on this moment of object, the score is going to be updated. This is going to be happened in one single program or one single software. This is going to be happened in one single software or one single program in such a way that first in such a way that okay, in such a way that I'm able to hear you. Are you hearing me? Any problem? No problem, right?
క్లియర్ సార్.
Okay, fine. Because I'm getting some messages or your internet is unstable like that. That's what I'm asking. So software, inside this software, what happens is gaming software or any other software or gaming program, first I will be making a movement of one object. That is one thing is going to be done parallelly. And based on that, what I will be getting the map or the next how we need to move the object, next path will be getting. So at the same time, parallelly, the score is going to be updated. One is object, other one is what you'll be getting the path, other one is what score. These three things parallelly these three things are going to be happened in your game software, in your game software, especially in gaming software. This is going to be happened, and this can be happened with the help of multi-threading. This was happened with the help of what? Multi-threading. So how it is going to be happened in one single program? In one single program will be making one code as one some set of instructions as separate part, another set of instructions as separate part, another set of instructions as what? A separate part. Okay, and these three things we are executing. Parallelly. Okay, in one single program we'll be writing some instructions. Say 10 instructions we are writing in one part, 10 instructions we are writing in another part, 10 instructions we are writing in another part. And this three blocks, 10 instructions, 10 instructions, 10 instructions, will be executed separately, will be executed parallelly, parallelly. That is the basic idea behind multi-threading. So what do you mean by thread? A thread is nothing but represents a path of execution of group of statements. Suppose in a program I'm dividing the 10 instructions as one part, 10 instructions as another part, 10 instructions as another part, and this is going to be, and parallelly if these three parts are executed means, and this is going to be considered as one thread, this is going to be considered as one thread, this is going to be considered as what? Another thread. I will give you clarity, don't worry about that. This is one thread, this is another thread. Okay, a thread represents a separate path of execution of group of statements. Ante oka program lo meeru 30 instructions unte 10 instructions ni oka daggara, 10 instructions ni inko way, 10 instructions ni inko way ga inko path lo raste, and ఆ 30 instructions ని parallel గా execution start చేసాం అనుకోండి, then it can be called as multi-threading. Each and every part, each and every flow of execution of group of statements can be considered as thread. That means this is going to be one thread, this is going to be another thread, this is going to be another thread. For example, moving an object in this Temple Run game or whatever the game, moving an object is one thread, and getting a path is another thread, and updating the score is going to be another thread. Like that, we have three different threads are there, and these three different threads are running parallelly in your program, right? So that's what the meaning of thread. That's what the meaning of thread. A thread represents a separate path of execution of group of statements. In Java, if we write a group of statements, then these statements are executed by JVM one by one. In Java, if we write a group of statements, then these statements are executed by JVM one by one, right? If we write a group of statements, then these statements are executed by JVM one by one. This is what actually that we have learned till now. And when a group of statements has the group of statements JVM and execute just. This means every Java program there is always a thread running internally. అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్క జావా ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఒక థ్రెడ్ అనేది ఇంటర్నల్ గా రన్ అవుతుంది అనేసి చెప్తున్నాడు. I will give you clarity, don't worry about that. A thread represents, simply in simple words we can call that a thread is nothing but represents a path of execution of group of statements, or else we can represent that a thread represents execution of statements. A thread represents what? Execution of statements. And this execution of statements is done in two ways. One is single tasking, other one is multitasking. Forget about thread, student, just see what do you mean by single tasking, what do you mean by multitasking. From that itself I will make you to understand about thread. Okay, right? Can I proceed? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, what do you mean by single tasking? The first question, what do you mean by single tasking? A task means doing some calculation or processing, etc. So see, I'm doing some task here, I'm delivering my lecture. This is what a task. And you're doing some task, you're listening to my lecture. That is one task. And coming to the computer science also, what happens is CPU is doing some small task also. That can be something new, something what is the CPU is going to do. And that also can be considered as what? A task. A task involves execution of group of statements. In computer's terminology, task is nothing but it contains a group of statements, execution of group of statements. For example, addition of two number program chesante two numbers input ga istam, output anadi vastundi. Instructions, group of instructions valle kada akkada jarugutundi. That is going to be one task. So in single tasking environment, only one task given to the processor at a time. Only one task will be given to the processor at a time. That is what going to be happen in single tasking. Single tasking means only one task will be given to the processor at a time. In single tasking, lot of processor time is wasted, and the processor has to sit idle without any job for a long time. See, what's going to be happened is, suppose we have a processor. Now I have some set of process P1 to P7. Let us assume that P1 is going to be MS Word, and P2 is going to be what your command prompt, and P3 is going to be what Word document, and P4 is going to be a PDF document, and P5 is going to be what some other thing, and P6 is going to be playing some video file, and P7 is nothing but some other thing. Now what happened over here is, in single tasking, first who has came over here? Let us assume that first P1 came, next P2 came, next P3 came, next P4, next P5, next P6, next P7. Like that, we have some set of process. Now what happens is, processor is going to consider the process which has came first. That means it goes and executes this P1 program. Let us assume that P1 program contains 100 lines. Now this processor is going to execute that complete 100 lines. After executing that complete 100 lines, then only it goes to P2. Now let us assume that P2 is going to have something like 1000 lines of code is there. Now what this processor will do? Will execute this 1000 lines of code. After executing this 1000 lines of code, then only it comes to what? P3. Now this P3 contains what? 10 lines of code. After executing this 10 lines of code, then only it goes to P4. And this P4 contains 1000 lines of code or 100 lines of code. After executing this 100 lines of code, then only it goes to with a P5. After executing this P5, then it goes with P6, then it goes with P7. Okay, this is going to be happen actually in single tasking. Suppose I have set of 7 processes. CPU executes P1, which contains 100 lines, and then it goes with P2, which contains 1000 lines. After execution of this 1000 lines, then only it comes to P3, and after execution of this 10 lines, then only it comes to P4. After execution of 100 lines in P4, then it goes with P5, then it goes with P6, then it goes with P7. Actually, in our real-time scenario, what is going to be happened is, suppose my laptop contains only one processor. Now here, how many tabs I opened over there? See, this is one what slideshow that I used. And next thing is I'm going to command prompt. This is another program. This is another program. I can use it parallelly. I can run some commands, Java, C, and then Java. I can use some set of commands over there. When I'm working with this, I'm going to get it. So, and then when I'm going to switch to some other processor here, Notepad, I can do some manipulations over here. But what single tasking is saying is, it contains some set of processor P1, P2, P3. First P1 మొత్తం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిన తర్వాతనే P2 వస్తా అని చెప్తుంది. అంటే ఈ స్లైడ్ షో మొత్తం అయిపోయింది అని యూజర్ చెప్పిన తర్వాతనే నేను what కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తాను. అప్పటిదాకా నేను కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయను అని చెప్తుంది. బట్ నేనేం చేశాను ఇక్కడ స్లైడ్ షో నుంచి కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్కి వెళ్ళాను. అంటే స్లైడ్ షో అన్నది ఆపేసి కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ కి ప్రాసెస్ ఇస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, this is what time consuming process, remaining process. అంటే ఈ P1 ప్రాసెసర్ 100 లైన్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసేంత వరకు P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7 అనేది వెయిటింగ్ స్టేట్ లోనే ఉంటాయి. Until unless P1 is completed, then it moves to P2. After completion of P2, then only it moves to P3. After completion of P4, then only it goes to P4, and then P5, and then P6, and then P7. But it's not going to be a good thing. Single tasking is not going to be a good thing. Why means, suppose the user wants to perform multiple things with in one single laptop. And if that was the case, then what the processor is not going to satisfy that multiple services that has given to the processor. Multiple services, and for example, what I mean to say is, I'm using PPT here, and at the same time, I want to listen songs through my laptop. That it is possible. I can play the video. I can play video or audio file with some player, or else I can open YouTube and I can play the things over there. And parallelly, I can use this slideshow also. I can deliver the lecture also. With three things can be done parallelly. One is going to be a slideshow. Other one is I'm going to give the lecture. And other thing is what some audio or video file is going to be played along with me. Right? Three things is going to be done. Suppose if you are using only single task, means how the single task is going to be. First, slideshow open cheyali. Slideshow open chesi ee process anta ayin tarvata slideshow మొత్తం క్లోజ్ చేసిన తర్వాతనే CPU అన్నది ఇంకో దానికి వెళ్తుంది. అంటే ఆడియో సాంగ్స్ ని ప్లే చేయడానికి వెళ్తుంది. అక్కడ ఆడియో సాంగ్స్ అన్ని ప్లే చేసి ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ని టర్మినేట్ చేసిన తర్వాతనే ఇంకో సాఫ్ట్వేర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తుంది. అంటే ఇక్కడ P1, P2, P3, P4 ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్. P1 అంటే VLC మీడియా ప్లేయర్ అనుకుందాం. P2 అంటే పవర్ పాయింట్ స్లైడ్ షో అనుకుందాం. ఇప్పుడు నేను పాటలు సాంగ్స్ అన్ని వినిన తర్వాతనే then only I'm in a position to go with what slide show. After completion of this slide show, then only I'm in a position to go with another PDF document or some other software. That I need to close that. After closing that, then only I'm in a position to go. I'm in a position to use it. And at a time, I'm not in a position to use this many windows over here. Right? I need to use one by one. That means first a slideshow I need to finish. Then only I'm in a position to go with command prompt. And after command prompt, then only I'm in a position to go with Notepad. Such kind of processing can be called as single tasking. All human beings are going to be a single tasking, right? Okay. In one single time, at certain point of time, we are not in a position to do what multiple things. Okay. So that's going to be what single tasking. I understood about single tasking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, only one processor, 7 processes are there, or 7 softwares we need to execute. Means first CPU execute first software. It might be what PPT or Notepad, and then it goes to second software, third software, fourth software, fifth software, sixth software, seventh software. If that was the case, until and unless P1 was terminated, then only it comes to P2. After termination of P2, then it goes with P3. After termination of P3, then it go to with P4. And then ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు స్లైడ్ షో వద్దు, నేను ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ నేను స్లైడ్ షోని క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. క్లోజ్ చేసే కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్కి వెళ్ళాలి. ఇఫ్ మై ల్యాప్టాప్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి a single tasking, means I need to close this slide show and then PPT. Then only I'm in a position to go with what command prompt. Again, if I need slide show, means again I need to open PPT. So that is what going to be happen in single tasking. But this is not going to be an efficient process. This is not going to be an efficient process. There might be some requirement for the programmer or the user to run 2 different softwares at a time. In that case, the processor has to support. With the help of the single tasking, this single tasking processor is not going to support the user requirement. So that what they have done is they come up with some idea called multitasking. Multitasking. In this multitasking, process time was utilized effectively, where we can give several jobs at a time. That means one processor, this processor is going to provide, execute several processes or several programs at a time, or several softwares at a time, several softwares at a time. That is what multitasking. That means processor is going to execute several processes or several programs at a time. That is called multitasking. The main advantage of multitasking is to use processor time effective, optimum way, as well as the user is going to satisfy his requirements. That means I will be using slideshow. Now I'm using slideshow. Now I would like to switch to command prompt. So this is one software. Now I'm going with command prompt. Yes, it's providing service. Again, if I want to go to slideshow, means yes, I can go to slideshow. I can run from where I stop. From there, I can run my PPT. Okay. So I will be coming out with very good animation. Try to understand it. In process-based multitasking or simply multitasking, what happens is several programs. Keep this aside, process-based word, let us keep this aside. Multitasking, we are talking multitasking, several programs are executed at a time by the processor. We have a processor. We have process P1, P2, P3, P4. This P1 is going to be one software with some data. Let us assume that VLC media player with audio file, and P2 is going to be one software which contains something like P2 contains PPT. Let us assume that PPT, and P3 is what notepad. P4 is what command prompt. Like that, four different processes are there. P1 is going to play the VLC media player with audio file. PPT, P2 is going to be a PPT, and P3 is a notepad, and P4 is going to be a command prompt. I would try to run that program. Now what happens is processor. First, it start with P1. That means I'm going to start audio file. Right, it started playing it. After that, immediately what happens is I have again 4 processes are there. Now some time, let us assume that of second or 30 milliseconds, some time is going to be allocated. The CPU time is allocated to P1. Immediately it will be switched from P1 to P2. P1 to P2 again. So let us assume that 1 millisecond was allocated to P1, and again after completion of that 1 millisecond, then the processor is going to switch from P1 to P2. Again, here also it spends 1 millisecond. After that, it goes to P3. And from here, again, it goes to P4. From again, P4, it goes to what? P1. From again, it goes to P1. Like that, it's going to be done. That means certain amount of CPU time will be given to P1, will be given to P2, will be given to P3, will be given to P4. Again, the same story is going to rotate. Same story is going to be rotated. That means there is only one CPU, and this CPU is going to execute certain time P1, certain time P2, certain time P3, certain time P4. That means here what happens is it's fraction of second. Very small amount. We are not in a position to identify it. See, I'm working with a slideshow, but I'm thinking that the CPU is going to provide complete service to my slideshow presentation only, but it's not going to be happen internally. What happens is in between, when he's providing service to slideshow, in between CPU covers all these tabs which was opened over there. It covers command prompt, it covers notepad, it covers this Chrome, it covers everything which was opened, every tab which was opened over here. It is going to cover each and everything over there, Okay, so let us assume that I have 10 tabs, and here 10 process will be there in PCB, process control block. 10 process will be there, and the CPU is going to execute first process, second process, third process, again cyclic process. Continuously the CPU time is going to be allocated. Suppose what happens is I'm going to close command prompt. This command prompt is P4. I'm going to close it. Now what CPU thinks that there is a complete execution of this P4 was done. Then the circulation is going to be done between P1, P2, P3. That's it. Certain amount of time will be given to P1, next P2, next P3, again P1, P2, P3, P1, P2, P3. Like that, it is going to be rotated. Okay. I hope you got clarity with this animation.
Yes, sir.
So there is process control block, and it contains process 1, 2, 3. Certain amount of time will be allocated to P1. And from this P1, it was switched to P2. From this P2, it was switched to P3. From this P3, it was switched to P4. Again, from P4, it goes with P1. And then again, it comes to P2, P2 to P3, P3 to P4, and then P4 to P1. Let us assume that after the second cyclic rotation, P4 was completed. Its process was completed. So that what happens? The control comes from P1 to P2, P2 to P3, P3 to, again, it goes with what? P1. Again, it goes with what? P1. This is how the processor time is going to be spent between the process. This is what multitasking, and this is what process-based multitasking. This is what multitasking, and this is what process-based multitasking. process based multitasking. Clear with this, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any doubts up to this? Response, students. I'm not getting response.
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Okay, take from here, all of you fast. The way of execution of statements is of two types. The way of execution of statements is of two types: single tasking, multitasking. Single tasking, multitasking. Okay, next, single tasking, keep adding single tasking. Single tasking. Don't write all these points. However, I will be showing you. So take this point, third point. The single tasking means only one task will be given to the processor at a time. Only one task. Take the third point. Completed. Take this diagram, all of you. One by one, it will execute. Respond, Nana. Respond. Completed. మణితేజ రాస్తున్నావా? Maniteja. He left, I think. Is that Maniteja? Completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, next. Take this multitasking. Take the first point and then this point. Multitasking is of two types: process based. See, Gayatri is asking one question. Sir, background లో 10 ప్రాసెస్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు మనకి స్క్రీన్ మీద ఒక ప్రాసెస్ మాత్రమే ఎలా కనిపిస్తుంది? So what this is an output screen, what Gayatri, and if you want to see whatever you like and that you can see. Okay, ఇప్పుడు parallel గా నేను ఒక సాంగ్ ప్లే చేస్తున్నాను. సాంగ్ అనేది బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో ప్లే అవుతుంది, నేను పీపీటీ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను. I can do it. Okay, if I require that, I want to do some changes in that thing, means I'm going with that interface. Song play చేసే VLC media player, audio player కి వెళ్ళి అక్కడ నేను చేంజెస్ చేసుకుంటాను. I would like to give some input. Wantedly, I would like to give some input to that software, then I'm going to that interface, I'm giving that. But any process run చేస్తే అన్ని process మనం చూడలేము on the output screen. Whatever we require, that only will be able to see. Otherwise, you can do one thing. You can make some boxes like how my video is appearing, and you can make what this is one software, and again one more box you can make. You can minimize the window and you can take all those things in the screen. This is an output screen which we are going to see. So whatever the thing that you want, you can see it. But internally, how many processes that you are giving to the CPU, and for those number of processes, the CPU is going to work. Clear? Okay, Gayatri. Okay, fine. Completed. Respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So take this diagram. This is very, very important, students. Then we'll be going with thread-based multitasking, and then we'll be seeing how to create threads in Java. What is the process of creating threads in Java? Very, very interesting things, students. If you understood, it's very good. But I will be revising many times about creating threads. I will be coming up with 2 to 3 programs based on this threads itself. At least third program kind of clarity also. I hope you will get clarity at least for third program. Cut మనము రియల్ టైమ్ లో వీటిని ఎక్కడ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయం అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ కానీ ఆండ్రాయిడ్ అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడు కానీ we are not going to do that anywhere. Internally, the methods that you are using, predefined methods that you are using, and those methods are taking care of these threads. But you need to understand the process. See, మనం ల్యాప్టాప్ ని యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం, బట్ ఓఎస్ అనే సబ్జెక్ట్ ఏం చెప్తుంది మీకు? ఇంటర్నల్ గా ప్రాసెస్ ని ఎలా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తుంది అని చెప్తుంది తప్ప ఇట్ డజంట్ స్పీక్స్ అబౌట్ హౌ యువర్ what Windows operating system was developed, what kind of programming they are done, how GU graphical user interface of your operating system was developed. Such kind of things it doesn't say. It mainly focus on kernel, it mainly focus on CPU, how it is going to be processed, the CPU process, like that, system calls, like that. It talks about only that aspect. Okay, so in real time we will not be implementing this multi-threading. It was taken care by the predefined methods that we are going to use. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's talk about thread-based what multitasking. We talked about process-based. Process-based అంటే ఇక్కడ ప్రాసెస్ అంటే ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కానీ ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ అని అనుకోవచ్చు. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక స్లైడ్ షో ఇచ్చాను, దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి వన్ ప్రాసెస్. ఒక నోట్ ప్యాడ్ ఓపెన్ చేశాను, దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి వన్ ప్రాసెస్. జూమ్ మీటింగ్ యాప్ యూస్ చేశాను, దట్స్ గోయింగ్ టు బి వన్ ప్రాసెస్. అండ్ దెన్ ఐఎమ్ యూజింగ్ one PDF document over here. One PDF document over here. This is going to be one process. This is going to be one process. Like every program or every software that we are going to run in our computer or in our laptop, that's going to be considered as one process. One process. Now, in every process, there might be a different flows. In every process, there might be a different flows. Let us assume we have a process or we have a program. It's a gaming program. It's a gaming program. Again, processor, this is process control block, and this is a program or process. It's a gaming program. Now in that gaming program, we have 3 parts: T1, T2, T3. T1, T2, T3. So T1 is going to be one thread or one part. T2 is going to be another part. T3 is going to be another part. This is going to be T3 students. Okay, T3 is going to be another part. Now what happens is, in this program, first T1 was initiated by the processor, or the programmer instructed or written a code in such a way that we need to start T1. Now after this T1, they are initiated T2, or the CPU time was allocated to T2. Again from this T2, the CPU time was allocated to T3. Again from this T3, the CPU time was allocated to what? T1. See, what miracle is going on here is, this is going to be one process P1, let us assume. Again, in this process P1, we divided code into 3 parts. 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, T1, T2, T3. Now, this 1 millisecond, whatever the time that was allocated to this P1, again, this millisecond of time was been divided into 3 parts again, 0.5, 0.5, 0.3, 0.3, 0.4, like that. Or 0.3312, like that, 0.333, 0.33, 0.33. The time was divided in that 1 millisecond. The time was divided into 0.33, 0.33, 0.33, 0.33, 0.33, 0.33. 0.33 will be given to T1, 0.33 will be given to T2, 0.33 will be given to T3. Like that, in one single process, again, multiple things are going to be happened. Multiple things are going to be happened over there. Okay, see, let us assume that this is a Zoom app, students. Now in this Zoom app itself, what I'm doing is, I'm going to share my video through what content, and whatever the action that I'm doing over here, this action was reflected over there. This is one separate path, one separate code written for this. And next thing is I can parallelly doing some actions over here. I can do some changes. I can draw the line. I can do this, and this is going to be happened over there. Two things are going to be run parallelly. This is one single software. In this one single software, video is running parallelly by capturing my things. And at the same time, I shared a PPT, and whatever the manipulations, whatever the things that I'm doing on the PPT, and those things are also appeared over there, appeared for you. That means parallelly two services or parallelly two threads are going on in one single software or in one single process or one single program. The Zoom is going to be one program. In that Zoom, I'm going to consider sharing PPT is going to be one thread or one part, and getting video is another part. Getting video is another part. Two threads, video and then this PPT, are going to be acting parallelly. Are going to be acting what? Parallelly. Okay, T1 another miru what video an anukunte, T2 another sharing the content anukunte, and T3 vachesi nenu ikkada what something I'm going to draw. Okay, like that you can consider over there, and three things are going to be run parallelly. Three things are going to be run what? Parallelly. That means some time that is 0.33 seconds of time will be given to video, and 0.33 seconds will be given to sharing that PPT, and then 0.33 seconds will be given to what? Drawing or something else it's going to give, right? So this is going to be happened in your Zoom software, and same thing is going to be happened in your gaming software. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So ikkada vachesariki many process, chala process, P1, P2, P3, different softwares మీరు రన్ చేస్తున్నారు మీ ల్యాప్టాప్. ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసరికి నేను ఏం చెప్తున్నానంటే ఒకటే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లో అగైన్ డిఫరెంట్ పార్ట్స్ కింద కోడ్ డివైడ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. ఆ కోడ్ ని ప్యారలల్ గా ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ చేస్తున్నాము. T1 సపరేట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అవుతుంది, తర్వాత T2 స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది, తర్వాత T3 స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ తర్వాత T1 కి వెళ్తుంది, T1 నుంచి T2, T2 నుంచి T3 ప్యారలల్ గా రన్ అవుతూ వస్తాయని మనకు ప్యారలల్ గా అనిపిస్తుంది. రన్ అవుతూ T1 రన్ అవుతుంది, T2, T3, త్రీ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి రన్ ప్యారలలీ. దట్స్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్. That is the concept of what? Multi-threading. A thread represents separate path of execution of statements. A thread represents a separate path of execution of flow of instructions. Separate path of execution of flow of instructions. In one single program, in one single software, multiple threads will be there. And that's the concept of multi-threading. That is the concept of what? Multi-threading. In one single program, multiple threads are going to be active. In one single program, multiple threads are going to act. So that is the concept of multi-threading. Your thread-based multitasking can be considered as what? Your multi-threading. In one single program, multiple threads. Thread means what? A different path of flow, different flow of execution of group of statements. Execution of different flow of what execution of what path of different statements. Okay, so this is what the thing. Okay. Clear with the students? Multi-threading concept in the brain loki?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hardly 7 students has given reply. What about remaining? Now I'm going with this today 11 series. 511 absent, 512. 512 have you understood?
Yes, sir.
513, 513. 514 absent. 514 morning she was present. 515 absent. 516 absent. 517 Jahnavi.
Yes, sir.
Have understood? Have you written notes?
Yes, sir.
May I know what do you mean by multi-threading? In your own words you can answer, no problem.
Which represents a separate path of execution of a group of statements.
Okay, multi-threading, that's going to be a thread. What do you mean by multi-threading? You can explain in your own words, no problem. Okay, very good, Jahnavi. You have tried your extent, no problem. Akshita.
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by multi-threading?
A group of statements are executed by one.
That's what you understood. 520.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what do you mean by multi-threading?
simultaneously
Hmm.
process చేయొచ్చు. ఒక
Simultaneously.
ప్రాసెస్ సైమల్టేనియస్లీ వర్క్ చేయొచ్చు.
ఒక process is-
ప్రాసెస్
Okay, why you are feeling this much of difficulty? I don't know. See, one program is there. You can explain in very simple words, man. One program is there. And in that program, I'm placing group of statements as one part, another group of statements, another group of statements. CPU undi. CPU e group of statements ni parallel ga execute chestundi. This statements will be executed, this statements will be executed. Simultaneously or parallelly, different instructions will be executed, or different blocks of instructions will be executed, or different threads will be executed. That is what multi-threading. In a program, 10 instructions I'm placing, 10 instructions I'm placing in another thread, 10 instructions I'm placing in another thread. Parallelly, this instructions will be executed. That is what multi-threading. Multiple threads are going to be there in a program means then it's going to be multi-threading. If only what do you mean by thread means? It's a separate path of execution of group of statements. Separate path of execution of group of statements can be considered as what? Multi-threading. Can be considered as what? Multi-threading. If multiple threads are there in the program, then it's what? Multi-threading. If multiple threads are there in a process, then it's going to be a multi-threading. What do you mean by thread means? Separate path of execution of group of instructions. Okay. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go with the other series. 509, no, 508. 508.
Sir,
Can you define? What do you mean by thread? What do you mean by multi-threading?
thread means executing a single set of executing process. Single process is a thread, and executing multiple threads at a time parallelly is known as multi-threading.
So what do you mean by thread? Come again.
Executing a single process, sir.
In a process, executing a block of statements can be considered as thread. Can be considered as thread. If multiple threads are there and a multiple flow of execution of statements are there, then it can be called as multi-threading. Okay, process lopala threads untayamo. Okay, executing a process is not going to be a thread. In a program or in a process, there might be some block of statements, and those block of statements will be executed parallelly. Then it can be called as thread. Then it can be called as what? Thread. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, that means you understood it, but the way of conveying is somewhat different. That's it. Apart from that, you are done good. 507, Kartikeya. Kartikeya, can you define thread and multi-threading?
వినలేదు సార్.
Why?
వాటర్ తాగి వచ్చాను సార్ ఇప్పుడే.
See, this I started at 11:40, right?
సార్
Then you had taken 40 minutes, half an hour time for taking water. Is that an appropriate answer? Okay. Fine. So mute yourself.
ఓకే సార్.
So threads can be used for multiple purposes. Some of the threads used are threads mainly used in server-side programs to serve the needs of multiple clients requests on network or internet. I will address this thing later. Threads can also be used to create games and animations. Animations means moving the object from one place to another place. And I given already before starting the class itself, I given that. So game lo manaki multiple things parallel ga jaruguntayi. Moving an object, updating score, and your pathfinder or something else is going to be done. And then parallelly background music would play out those manaki. So many things are going to be happen in games, and that's going to be the one of the best example for threads. Okay, I hope I given clarity about this threads concept. If you have any doubts, you can ask about this. Otherwise, we'll be entering into the topic called creating threads. Okay, can I proceed? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Only 2 students has given response.
సార్
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Right. Mute yourself, someone creating some disturbance. Okay. So just multi-threading refers to two or more tasks executing parallelly within a single program. That is what multi-threading. A Java process can be divided into multiple threads, and each thread can be considered as each thread can be given a different task. So now let's see how to create a thread in Java. So we know that in Java, in every Java program, there is a main thread available already. Apart from this main thread, we can also create our own threads in Java program. That means, as we are discussing from the beginning of the time, the JVM is going to call main method. The JVM program execution starts from main method. JVM internally calls from main method. First, it goes with static variables and then static blocks, and then it goes with a main method. Inside main method, object is created, means constructors, and then memory will be allocated for instance variables, and then it executes what constructors, and then what instance block, instance variables, instance blocks, and then constructor. This is also the flow. But internally, the main that means if you are writing a program, this program may contain a class A, and this program may contain class B, and the program may contain what, class C. Now in this class C, I'm writing main method. This is complete Java program. And now your JVM, what it does is after compilation, it goes with the main method. Where main method is there, it goes to that class, and it starts executing from main method. And from this main method, I'm going to create two threads. The programmer is going to create two threads. One thread is going to act on A class. One thread is going to act on B class. One thread is going to act on what, B class. Okay, I will be discussing this example. This is going to be the one of the best example to understand multi-threading. So, so this main is going to be considered as one thread, and there are two ways to create thread in Java. One is by implementing runnable interface. Other one is by extending thread class. By implementing runnable interface and by extending what, thread class. So we'll be seeing how to create a thread by using runnable and by using extending a thread class. Okay. So in the next class, we'll be discussing. I think we are running out of the time, exactly 12:30 now. If you have any doubts, you can ask students, otherwise you can leave. Any doubts, students? No doubts?
dy